Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin with the latest from the ongoing dispute over the proposed Waasigan transmission line project.
Hydro One has committed to reviewing an alternate route for the high voltage power line, but that did little to calm emotions at Wednesday's meeting of the neighbors on the line. Kurt Black joins us in studio with the details. Kurt?
Thanks, Riley. Yeah, tensions were certainly high out in Kaministiquia last night, with the main area of contention being the tactics used by Hydro One real estate representatives, which some area residents have described as bordering on harassment.
I want to hear when you're going to reroute the line. That's the only time I want to get a phone call. How do you sleep at night?
Frustration continues to grow amongst those who stand to be impacted by the preferred route for the Waasigan transmission line project. And this week's discovery that Hydro One's real estate representatives aren't technically licensed real estate agents has only added fuel to the fire.
Unlicensed, unregistered, uncertified real estate representatives telling people information about their property and their land that they're not certified to give.
These land agents are giving real estate information to these landowners stating they can move wells, that this is the assessment of their property. They're not certified to give that type of information. And then they're asking people to sign paperwork based upon misinformation.
Hydro One's Sonny Karanakran was once again on hand for Wednesday's meeting and made it clear that maintaining positive relationships with the community is a priority and that the utility will be looking into the tactics used by their representatives.
We thank the people here in Kaministiquia for the feedback that we have received about specific interactions. We take that very seriously. We certainly will be investigating further. We want to try and make sure that we are continuously improving, and so we will strive to endeavour to do better.
The alternative route proposed by local Brian Marsh will be reviewed by Hydro One over the next 2 weeks for its potential as a solution based off the criteria used for the original route. But from Hamer's perspective, the utility's actions to this point have left her less than convinced.
For us, that's not a clear indication that they are committed to an alternate route, which brings it back to what part of their criteria is taking in over 285 homes. And I would ask, what is an acceptable amount of loss?
Kurt Black, TBT News.
It will likely be at least another month before construction of the new Waterfront Art Gallery finally gets underway. That's according to the gallery's executive director. Preliminary work is happening on the site, but Sharon Godwin says there are several things that have to happen before construction can begin in earnest. Namely, City Council has to approve a bylaw allowing it to go ahead. That won't happen until at least April 24th. The art gallery and the city then need to sign a lease agreement for the land before the building permit can be issued.
Job seekers from Thunder Bay and across the region were at the Valhalla today for a chance to connect with a variety of potential careers.
It was the second annual Opportunities Northwest Job Fair organized by Dougal Media, featuring employers from many sectors. Vasilios Bellos reports.
It's the perfect way to connect job seekers with potential employers. The second annual Opportunities Northwest Job Fair kicked off Thursday morning at the Valhalla Hotel with an even better turnout this time around. An estimated 1,500 people crowded the event to talk with representatives from more than 80 employers in the region, with some even getting hired on the spot. Event consultant Nancy Mullaney spoke about the benefits this event brings that attendees would not get virtually or through a phone call.
I think the face-to-face, having the opportunity to actually come in and talk to someone is so very important. It's a lot better than doing it online and just sending in. When you have that opportunity to make an impression on a potential employer, I think that counts for everything.
Online, I don't like that personally. And I think there's a lot of people that want to do a one-on-one. Companies, I believe, they get a better sense of who you are, what you're all about.
The booths set up featured employers from a wide variety of sectors, including mining, emergency services, entertainment, and much more. The Ontario Native Women's Association was in attendance, with HR coordinator Tanya Towner explaining the benefits of meeting so many potential employees during a single event.
It's been amazing to network and meet everybody coming through the doors, and they're learning about who we are if they didn't know ahead of time, and just getting to experience us and experience everybody that's here and interact with all the other local companies.
Organizers say the plan is to continue the job fair annually as long as the need to connect job seekers to employers is felt in the region. Vasilios Bellos, TBT News.
A 17-year-old male has been arrested after allegedly stabbing two other teens last night on Winnipeg Avenue. The incident sent an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say it was the accused who called 911 to report the altercation, and he turned himself in to police without incident. Officers, though, were told that he was also a victim in the assault. He appeared in bail court today and was released with conditions. Thunder Bay Police have charged the driver of a pickup truck following a collision with a school bus this morning. It happened on Government Road around 8:15 a.m. The bus was stopped to pick up children when it was rear-ended. There were 14 kids on board at the time. Fortunately, none of them were hurt. The truck sustained major damage and the female driver suffered minor injuries. City police say she's been charged with careless driving.
With the arrival of spring, local drivers have seen plenty of potholes open up on city roads over the last couple of weeks.
Roads crews are extra busy trying to fill them in a timely manner, but as Jessica Clement reports, it's an uphill battle.
We're definitely the time of year right now, potholes are starting to form, and it has been for the last couple of weeks.
While this year's winter was milder than usual, motorists will still be seeing potholes develop for the next while, as the warmer day temperatures mixed with freezing night temperatures causes damage to Thunder Bay's roads. However, road crews and the Python 5000 have been out daily to fill any potholes they see or those reported to the city infrastructure phone line. Roads Division Manager Ian Spoljerich insists that this year's pothole season has actually been fairly average, and he admits they aren't able to do permanent fixes just yet.
Also this time of year, we only have access to cold mix asphalt, which is more or less temporary, not really a long-term solution until the hot mix plants open, usually around May long weekend. Right now, depending on the resources we have 4 to 6 crews out per day along with the Python.
We spoke to some city drivers to get their opinions on this year's pothole season.
Too bad. It's too bad. I can't even explain it.
I think they're brutal. Everywhere you go, you're clunking in a big hole somewhere.
Terrible this year. They're everywhere. They're big, they're ugly. I'm going to do damage to this new vehicle.
We do have a lot of people calling in, more or less helping us identify where some issues are so we can send crews to go and address those.
Spoljerich says there are no plans at this point for the city to purchase a second Python 5000 machine, though he admits it would be nice to have another one at their disposal. And Spoljerich has some advice for people driving around the city this spring.
Just to remind motorists to, drive to the road conditions, and when you are coming up to a pothole crew, give them lots of space to operate, just so everyone can get home safely.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Ontario hopes to grow its number of healthcare workers by expanding the number of medical school spots for students in the province.
That a lot of students are being forced to leave the province for medical school. You hear it, my son or daughter's in Ireland, or they're down in the Caribbean at medical school because they can't find a residency spots right here in Ontario. Meanwhile, students from other countries are learning here, but then they return home after that, and I find that unacceptable. That's why we're expanding the number of undergraduate and graduate medical school spots and putting qualified Ontario students at the front of the line.
Premier Doug Ford and Health Minister Sylvia Jones highlighted a $33 million budget promise while speaking at Hamilton's McMaster University this morning. The plan will add 100 undergraduate medical school seats and another 154 postgrad seats beginning in 2024. Both are meant to prioritize Ontario residents.
Thunder Bay OPP are investigating a major copper wire theft in Shunya. It happened last week at the new truck inspection station currently under construction along Highway 1117. Police were called to the site on March 21st to investigate the theft. OPP say unknown persons broke into a sea can storage container on the property and stole 12 large spools of copper wire, valued at around $30,000. The Forensic Identification Unit attended the scene and collected evidence, and the investigation is still ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact the OPP. The new 5-lane inspection station and transport rest stop are being built by the MTO at a cost of around $30 million. The project is expected to be completed sometime in late summer.
The city councillor for Nebing wants administration to look into a potential trail network in his ward along Mountain Road near Nor'Westerview School. He hopes it can provide a safer and more enjoyable outdoor experience for neighborhood residents. Mountain Road doesn't currently have any sidewalks, and many people, including school kids, have to settle with using a narrow bike lane. Councillor Greg Johnson is bringing the resolution forward on Monday night, stressing that many in the growing neighborhood want a more convenient way to get around. Johnson believes the lack of trails or sidewalks is also a significant safety concern.
You've got school children trying to get to school and back home again. Dog lovers, our retirees, people that like to use their bikes. They're really struggling to do so safely. There is no sidewalk off of Mountain Road. The shoulders are quite narrow and often very sloped as well.
If Council approves the request for a report on Monday, it would include estimated costs that may be included in the 2024 budget.
Beer lovers and foodies can rejoice. The Brew Hoff Festival will be back this summer for just the second time in the last 4 years. The rights to the event have been acquired by the Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce, and it's coming back to the Marina Park this July. Brew Hoff showcases a variety of craft beers, cider tastings, unique culinary offerings, and live music playing in festival grounds. The event last ran at full capacity in 2019. It was canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic, and a scaled-back version took place in 2021 before taking another hiatus in 2022. Chamber President Charla Robinson says they're prepared to handle a full-scale capacity of 4,000 people over the 2-day event.
Well, just really excited to be back at the Marina. It's been a number of years since it was held at the Marina. There was an event in 2021, but of course with COVID restrictions, the management at that time had to go with a much smaller event. So we're thrilled to be back to the full opportunity with all of the things, all of the food and the flavors and the beers to taste, and just excited to bring everyone together for a great couple of nights on the waterfront.
The 19+ event will take place on July 14th and 15th from 4 to 9 p.m. each day. Early bird tickets will be made available to the public starting in mid-April.